Thank you for joining me, Ashwyn Mberi, on NMH at 1, where we highlight the news making waves in Namibia and beyond, ranging from current affairs to community stories, sports and economic news. Coming up in this broadcast, Ministers butt heads over Nida CEO. Geingob to rest in his room at Heroes Acre. Fishrot accused welcome Mbumba with baptism of fire. Follow all our programs on oneup2.com or DSTV 285 or GoTV 25 in Namibia. Let's head to the midday news update. Musicians Jericho and Max T shared a few words ahead of their performance at the musical tribute concert to late President Geingob, which took place at Katutura Independence Arena. Michael Kayunde reports.
In the building, rest in peace to Dr. Geingob. Arafat in the same breath, Tunaki in the same breath. The Tapate is in the building. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for the nation. We're doing this for everybody that's shedding a tear right now. This is the moment of joy. Our president was somebody that loved entertainment, soccer, and music. And this is his day. Condolences to his family. It's love and peace always.
Yeah. And we're gonna do that today.
Visual News highlights local stories from across Namibia right after the break.
Hi, Kambaripa.
Hi, Melissa.
You look upset. Is everything okay?
A healthcare worker refused to attend to me because I visited the healthcare facility without a guardian.
Healthcare workers are not allowed to do that. This sounds like a job for your shield of survival.
Huh?
Your rights, they're your superpowers. Your shield of survival is your right to life, health, nutrition, shelter, and an adequate standard of living.
For more information, contact the Children's Advocate Namibia in the Office of the Ombudsman on 061 20 73 111. Send us an SMS on 20401. SMS costs 40 cents. You can also send us a message via our Facebook page. Remember, the services of the Children's Advocate are free of charge.
Let's get into today's visual news clips. The Rundu Town Council recently announced the commencement of a 16 million Namibian dollar road maintenance project on 3 major roads, namely Hangura, Mise, Elizabeth Nepemba and Maria Mwengwere. The town's public relations officer Benjamin Makai shares more.
As you have seen in town that people are getting busy just to look into our road. And you know that rain season, most of the road were damaged by the rain. But nevertheless, council has identified so far 3 major roads that we are looking into. The first one is that Elizabeth Nepemba road, which is now going to be under rehabilitation. It's going to be rehabilitated, and together with Maria Mwengwere Road. So there will be also a surface, and where they see the damage is so big enough, they can always see what they can do, maybe to clear out the old tarred road and then to put a new one. And also Haingura Mise road. So there are some meters that we are going to tire just to upgrade it from gravel to bitumen standard. And Marcus Warongo road, which is the road leads from Standard Bank going on the way to Pick and Pay, and a 4-way stop of Pick and Pay and Vurmanbroek. It used to be a 1-way road, but it's going to be changed to be a 2-way road.
President of the Namibia Agriculture Union, Tinus Pretorius, gives his tribute message at the agriculture sector's memorial being held in Redfontaine.
Director of Ceremonies, bereaved Geingob family, follow mourning Namibians. Today we pay tribute to the late President Hagi G. Geingob, the man who came back from exile to a very divided and hostile Namibia in 1989 and succeeded in creating an environment of calm and tranquility and peace. As a deeply divided pack of politicians and legislators sat down to constitute the roadmap for the road ahead, the nation held its breath. Under his leadership, a marvel was created that relieved much of this tension. A constitution that we all can relate to and live with. A constitution that formed the foundation on which we started building the Namibian house. He went on in the spirit of reconciliation, guiding the nation to a path of peace and respect for each other, irrespective of our diverse, where we come from. He taught us to think inclusive rather than exclusive, to talk rather than to fight. His famous words was to leave nobody behind. In my book, that was the ultimate diplomat. On behalf of the NAU and its members, I would like to extend my deepest sympathy to the family and the nation at large. The smooth transition of his departure pay homage to him and his legacy. Rus in vrede, grote. Kaise ko ire. Kaise ko sari. Rest in peace.
Namibian Sun leads us into the newspaper review segment shortly.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Namibian Sun reports that 3 men accused in the infamous Fishrot saga have threatened to drag President Mbumba to court should he appoint or extend the term of office of Zimbabwean-born Judge Moses Chinengo, who has been assigned to their looming trial. Former Justice Minister Saki Shangala, his business partner James Hatukilipi and Pius Mwatelulo wrote to Mbumba through their lawyer Ronald Kurtz to forewarn him about any extension or substantive appointment he may grant Chinengo. Plea proceedings against the 3 men and the 7 other accused started on a rocky note in December last year after Chinengo asked them to plead to the litany of charges they were facing, despite 4 of them not having lawyers at the time. On page 3, the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund has urged road users to prioritize safety on Namibian roads during the mourning period of late President Hage Geingob. In a media statement, CEO Rosalia Martins-Ausiku said they expect an increase in traffic flow into Windhoek, and it is especially during this time that motorists and road users should exercise utmost caution, patience, as well as vigilance. Now, on the front page of Republican, the Windhoek municipality's money matters are not as troubled as the Office of the Auditor General's reported it. A statement issued by the City of Windhoek yesterday said that the audit report presented last week in Parliament was for the financial year of 30 June 2021. On page 3, activist Michael Mshelelo's constitutional challenge to parts of the Criminal Procedure Act and the Banking Institutions Act was heard yesterday by a full bench of judges in the Windhoek High Court. In this matter, Mshelelo and his co-accused in a pending fraud case, Gregory Clutter, are challenging sections of 2 laws that were relied upon in the investigation into their alleged fraud and Ponzi scheme to obtain evidence that is now being used against them in a criminal case. The judge president instructed the registrar last year that the case should be heard by a full bench of judges. The judges included Hosea Angula, Thomas Masuku, and Nate Ndawe. The case was postponed to 27 August for judgment. Now, on the front page of Allgemeine Zeitung, the paper reports that after the Canadian company Osino Resources received an offer of around $4 billion Namibian as a financial injection last December for the project to build a mine after discovering gold deposits near Karibib, there is now a new bidder. Osino announced on Tuesday that the new offer for Twin Hills project will amount to the equivalent of $5.1 billion Namibian. The name of the foreign group has not yet been announced. Under the new offer, Osino shareholders would each receive 1.90 Canadian dollars per common share. The Canadian group Dundee Precious Metals, which has owned and operated the blast furnace for the smelting ore in Tsumeb since 2014, had offered $4 billion to acquire Osino almost 8 weeks ago. Now, on page 3 of Allgemeine Zeitung, the Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia is currently looking into plans to integrate 5G information technology with renewable energy generation. According to CRAN, renewable energy generation will be significantly influenced by the integration of 5th generation connections. Stay with us as we continue with the Namibian newspaper after the break.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
The Namibian reports that President Geingob will on Sunday be laid to rest in one of the rooms that have been reserved for presidents at Heroes Acre. A senior government source who preferred anonymity confirmed this to the Namibian yesterday. Former director of the National Heritage Council and governor of the Hardap region, Solomon April, yesterday said the mausoleums were built for Namibia to join international standards in honoring their heroes and heroines. April, who oversaw the construction of the mausoleums from 2014 to 2016, said there are 4 available at the Heroes Acre. On page 3, the Namibian Association of Medical Aid Funds says the rising cost of healthcare is weighing down some medical aid funds, forcing them to use their reserves to pay for members' healthcare. Stephen Shiworo, NAMAF chief executive, says for any medical aid fund to be regarded as sustainable, it has to have a reserve of 25% of what it collects. He says the biggest cost incurred by medical aid funds comes from private hospital bills, which make up 31%. To address this issue, NAMAF is working with stakeholders to establish common interpretations of terms related to hospital services, he says. Now, the New Era's lead story reports that 2 cabinet ministers are on a warpath over the recruitment of the Namibia Industrial Development Agency's interim chief executive officer. One minister opted for the current acting CEO, Philip Namyebo, to retain the post, while the other endorsed the secondment of the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board's chief operating officer, Rishwa Lukonga, to the position, also in an acting capacity. On 16 February, Lucia Ipumbu rejected Lukonga's secondment. She had reasons to justify her position. She said Lukonga could not be appointed in an acting capacity while someone was already acting in that role. On page 3, after initially ignoring the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture directive to set aside Friday as a school holiday, some private schools have since decided to toe the line. The government directive was issued by the ministry's executive director, Sanet Steenkamp, as part of the preparations for the late President Geingob's memorial service and state funeral. Now, the Ministry of Education's directive follows the memorial and funeral arrangement announcement by the Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Emma Theophilus, on Tuesday. Now let's move on over to Market Watch. It reports that Namibia's total public sector wage bill in 2024-25 is anticipated to be 1% higher than that of the previous fiscal year, as promised increases become effective in April. Finance Minister Mbumba will be tabling the 2024-25 budget in Parliament next Wednesday. According to the Media Budget Review, which Shimi tabled last October, the total wage bill is estimated to rise from 32.82 billion Namibian dollars to 33.19 billion in 2024-2025. According to Ceres Capital, the increment amounts to an increase of $600 in monthly salaries for grade 14 and 15 staff members and an overall 5% increase on the basic salary of staff members of the remaining grades. This wage adjustment comes after periods of sustained high inflation have seen a deterioration of purchasing power. Ceres stated its 2024 economic outlook. This year's salary increases will be second only to 2017, Ceres pointed out. The last time civil servants received an increase was 2022-2023, when remuneration rose by 3%. Now, construction industry raises productivity drop, concerns over 4-day week proposal. An update on this coming up next as we move over to economic news.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraika. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
The Construction Industries Federation of Namibia has expressed concern about the proposed 4-day work week. The Namibian dollar trades at 18.92 next to the US dollar 20.52 Namibian dollars, means you can get €1 23.93 for 1 British pound, and for Chinese yuan you'll need 2.63 Namibian dollars. Looking at the selected NSX stock closing prices, first Rand Namibia Limited took a dip, minus 0.50%, is where that stock stays. Right now, Letego Holdings and Namibia Breweries are seeing some upticks. Overall index closed down minus 0.05%. Oryx Properties and Trustco, well, Oryx Properties is up plus 1.70%, whilst Trustco Group Holdings maintained its value. Looking at commodities, copper is down minus 0.34%, whilst gold is trading at $2,029.85 per ounce.
Hi Sonia.
Hi Tufeni. What are you reading?
I'm reading about the Child Care and Protection Act. In this pamphlet I got from school.
What's that?
It is Namibia's main law for the children and the issues affecting them. The act classifies here that a child is anyone under the age of 18 years. Check out some of the rights meant to protect you. For more information, contact the Children's Advocate.
For more information, contact the Children's Advocate Namibia in the Office of the Ombudsman on 061 20 73 111. Send us an SMS on 20401. SMS costs 40 cents. You can also send us a message via our Facebook page. Remember, the services of the Children's Advocate are free of charge.
In news from Africa, Malawi has suspended the issuing of passports following a cyber attack on the computer system at the country's immigration service. President Lazarus Chakwera told MPs that the targeting of the government department amounted to a serious national security breach. He revealed that the hackers were asking for a ransom, but the president said the government would not give in to their demands and was working to resolve the problem. We are not in the business of appeasing criminals with public money, nor are we in the business of negotiating with those who attack our country, he said on Wednesday. Demand for passports is high in Malawi, with many young people looking to migrate in search of job opportunities. Now, Chakwera said he had given the immigration department 3 weeks within which it should provide a temporary solution and resume the issuing of passports while waiting to regain control of the system. He said a long-term solution with additional security safeguards would be developed. For the past 2 weeks, Malawi has not been issuing passports for what officials said was a technical glitch. Chakwera only revealed for the first time on Wednesday that the immigration system had been hacked, without mentioning who the hackers were suspected to be. Let's head on over to international news. U.S. President Joe Biden has said that his administration was canceling $1.2 billion worth of student loans for almost 153,000 people. Biden, who is undertaking a 3-day campaign swing through California, announced on Wednesday as part of a new repayment plan that offers a faster path to forgiveness. The U.S. leader had last year pledged to find other avenues for tackling debt relief after the Supreme Court blocked a broader plan to forgive $430 billion in student loan debt. While a college degree is still a ticket to a better life, that ticket is too expensive, Biden said in a statement, and too many Americans are still saddled with unsustainable debt in exchange for a college degree. The latest announcement applies to people enrolled in a repayment program known as Saving on a Valuable Education and covers those who borrowed $12,000 or less and have been repaying the money for at least 10 years. The move will particularly help community college and other borrowers with smaller loans and put many on track to being free of student debt faster than ever before, the White House said. The Biden administration began sending email notifications on Wednesday to some of the borrowers who will benefit from the SAVE program. Those have been our African and international news stories on NMH at 1. Stay with us as we swing on over to local sports, starting with African Stars.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
Poor sportsmanship right now from the lads.
You might be physically ready, your body is ready, but mentally.
Here's another chance, and it is a goal from
Wijs, hij zegt, ja, is er aan neertrekken. Hij bal lijkt mij grond gevat. Ja, hij grond gevat. En dan zie.
But just enough next.
Shh. Running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this for the mountain climber. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love that. I love that. So then
kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
All right, let's get into the local sport. African Stars have roped in the services of former UNAM FC head coach Ronnie Canalelo to be his head coach till the end of the season. The move is understood to have been motivated by recent disappointing results under the helm of Mervyn Bakera in the Debmari Namibia Premier Football League. The Namibia Football Association has announced the return of the NFA Cup. The competition, which pits league and teams from lower leagues, is expected to be launched in early March. The association says it will only disclose the names of the sponsors when the time is right. And the Cricket Namibia Ashburton mini cricket coordinator Jonah Ambuga elevated the game to new heights with a Kwata cricket workshop in Luderitz and is delighted to have facilitated 14 enthusiastic school teachers who participated in a day of learning and fun. Let's move over to international sport. The University of Pretoria came out on top against Cape Town Spurs in the Nedbank Cup, beating them 1-0 at the Tuck Stadium on Wednesday evening to move on to the round of 16 of the competition. A lack of experience in Europe's top club competition was a factor in Arsenal conceding a late goal in their Champions League game at Porto on Wednesday, but manager Mikel Arteta said the North London side will learn from the 1-0 defeat. And Iga Swiatek avenged her defeat to Elina Svitolina from Wimbledon last year with a commanding 6-1, 6-4 performance on Wednesday to blast into the Dubai quarterfinals. If you're just joining us, this is NMH at 1, and we'll get into the highlights from today's broadcast right after this.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
These are the highlights from this afternoon's broadcast. Malawi has suspended the issuing of passports following a cyber attack on the computer system at the country's immigration service. U.S. President Joe Biden has said that his administration was canceling $1.2 billion worth of student loans for almost 153,000 people. And the Namibia Football Association has announced the return of the NFA Cup. The competition, which pits a league and teams from lower leagues, is expected to be launched in early March. Those have been your highlights. Remember to tune in every weekday at 1 p.m. to spend your lunch hour with NMH at 1, catching up on the latest news in Namibia, Africa, and the world. From Ashwyn Mberi, see you tomorrow.